Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty cool today. Something called should cost.
Should cost.
Yeah, and to help us unpack it all, we've got this excerpt from Arup Bhattacharjee.
Okay.
He calls himself a profit engineer, which I love
We
that.
catchy.
Yeah, so let's see what this profit engineer has to say about should cost. I mean, is there even like a right or a wrong should cost?
That's a great question. And it's something that Bhattacharjee really dives into in this piece. And he kind of starts off by outlining his approach to business cases.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he says he always looks at three main things. He looks at cost, value, and time.
Cost, value, time.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is that he doesn't just look at, the numbers themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
He takes into account the bigger picture, like the product life cycle and even the company's mindset.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding the context.
Exactly.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's start with cost then, because that's where this whole should cost thing comes in, right?
Right.
So how does he define should cost?
Yeah,
Like, can you give us like an example?
sure. I mean, imagine you're building a house.
Okay.
You wouldn't just accept the first bid you get from a contractor, right?
Right.
You would do some research.
Yeah.
Compare prices from different contractors.
Yeah.
Try to figure out like what it should cost based on the materials and the labor and everything else.
Right. Right.
Should cost analysis is kind of like that, but for your business.
So you're basically saying like figure out what things should ideally cost, not just what they're currently costing you.
Exactly. It's about taking a deep dive into your production process and
Yeah.
identifying any inefficiencies, any areas where costs could be optimized.
Okay. So it's about finding those hidden costs or those areas where
Yeah.
you could be saving money.
Right. And here's the interesting thing that Bhattacharjee brings up. He says that should cost analysis often faces a lot of resistance.
Resistance. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Why would anyone resist trying to save money?
Well, he mentions that people tend to react to should cost proposals with too high or too low or ironically the same.
Too high, too low, or the same. But wouldn't all of those reactions kind of lead to the same outcome? Like you don't actually change anything.
Exactly. It's almost as if the number itself becomes like this roadblock that prevents any meaningful conversation about why there's a cost discrepancy in the first place.
So it's not really about the number, it's about what the number reveals.
Right.
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 Okay, so then how do you deal with that? Like how do you get people past that resistance?
Well, Bhattacharjee, he actually embraces the pushback.
Kida.
He uses it as an opportunity to dig deeper. He asks this really crucial question. He says, "Why are you losing money?"
Why are you using money? Whoa, that's pretty direct.
It is direct, but it also kind of shifts the focus away from defending the existing cost structure and toward actually exploring potential solutions.
Yeah, I see. It changes the conversation.
Yeah.
Instead of arguing about the number, you start looking for ways to improve.
Right. It encourages a mindset of continuous improvement.
And I guess having everyone on board is crucial for that, right?
Yeah.
Like if people aren't convinced that there's even a problem, then nothing's going to change.
Absolutely. Stakeholder buy-in is paramount. If the people involved aren't convinced that they need help, that there's room for improvement, then any further analysis is basically, pointless.
Yeah, it's like you can't force people to change if they don't see the need for it.
Exactly.
So really, what Khatacharjee is saying is it's not about finding the perfect should cost number. It's about using that number to start a conversation.
It's a tool.
Yeah, a tool to spark those conversations, to identify those areas for improvement, and then ultimately, drive positive change within the organization.
I like to think of it as a catalyst. It's not about finding the perfect number. It's about using that number to trigger a deeper examination of your operations, your decision-making processes.
It's about asking the tough questions and being willing to challenge the status quo.
Exactly.
So for all of our listeners out there, think about this. If should cost isn't just about the numbers, what does it actually reveal about a company?
Yeah, about their mindset.
Their mindset, their approach to financial success, their willingness to adapt and evolve.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some pretty big questions.
Yeah, and those are the real questions that a should cost analysis brings to the forefront. I mean, it's not just a financial exercise. It's truly a reflection of a company's mindset and their commitment to achieving, sustainable profitability.
It's a whole philosophy.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you all to ponder that.
Yeah.
Until next time.
See you then.